This is Brian Etheridge, Sic'Em 365 on the possibly the Bastards of Crash Davis podcast. We still haven't figured out the name of it, but that's about as close as we've gotten. So Levi Caraway with me, and today we're joined by Casey Sunseri, Baylor signee for baseball. And Casey's enjoying the wonderful weather of Alaska right now. So compared to Wharton, Texas, how are you feeling, Casey?
Oh, it's great. Sunny and 65. No humidity. Sun doesn't set here. It gets like a kind of dusk, but it's beautiful. Pictures do not do it justice.
How are you doing up in Alaska right now? How's the game going up there for you?
It's going well. I've been swinging it well. The team's great. Been playing a little third, second, and outfield, and they run it really well up here. It's very fun.
You hit about 370 at Wharton this year, and about 427 on your OBP. So right now, I mean, and I think you're classified as an infielder. I mean, by your commitment status, are you predominantly playing second, or are you short, or third, or you're open to all three?
I played third and second at Wharton. Split off a lot at the beginning and middle of the year, and at the end of the year, I pretty much was just at third. But I'm comfortable with either.
Okay. Levi, you got any questions there?
Yeah, so you started at Texas State your freshman year, and you transferred to Wharton. How big of a difference was there in competition and pitching, just stuff like that? It was different for sure. A lot of younger guys in JUCO, and then in D1, it's more grown men for sure. And but a lot of the JUCO guys at Texas State got me prepared for junior college baseball, since there's a lot over there. So they definitely helped with that, and it wasn't that crazy of a transition. So when you're playing JUCO baseball in Wharton, Texas, take me through like an average day. So
we got the calf in the morning, gourmet, Wharton cafeteria. And then you wake up, go get the calf, go to class, head out to practice at about 1 o'clock, and we're out there until about 5. And then some days, whenever we have time, according to the class schedule, we'd get lift in. And we usually play about 4 games a week and go from there.
You think that's going to get you ready for Power 5 baseball?
For sure. Just playing every day, and then just going through the JUCO grind. Definitely will, for sure. And then playing in competition up here and learning from a lot of guys I played with in the past. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. So you signed or go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, Levi. Go ahead. No, go ahead there, Levi.
So I was going to ask, so you signed kind of mid-April. How was that like to transition coaching staffs in the middle of kind of, you don't know what to do? Am I going to stay at Baylor? Am I going to go somewhere else?
I mean, we heard the rumors, especially about Coach Thompson, and I've heard about him my whole life, and I've heard a lot of great things about him. And when he got the job, there was no doubt that I would stay. If he wanted me, for sure.
Yeah. So, that's one of the things, I mean, I've known Mitch for quite a while. So how's the relationship building going on with y'all?
It's been good. I've talked to him 2 or 3 times, and he's asked about my story, and he sounds very excited to be the coach, and I'm excited to get to meet him in person.
Yeah, Casey, I told Brian.
I'm excited about you coming in because your power numbers are pretty solid there as well. I mean, you had 6 home runs this year. You had, your slugging percentage is pretty decent. Is strong. I mean, where do you see yourself in the lineup? What hole? I mean, do you like a 2-hole? You thinking 5, 6, 7? Where do you see yourself in?
This year I batted a 3-hole. And up here, I've been switching off between leadoff and 2-hole. But wherever they want me, I'll be comfortable.
Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed. I mean, with your batting average is, hitting 370. Levi and I were joking about it. It's like, hitting 370, if you're swinging at water is a hell of an average. So, I mean, somebody like you coming into the program, your offensive stats should immediately pop in, push you in the lineup at that way. And if you're swinging well right now in Alaska, and keeping your swing consistent, that's the one thing I'm looking forward with you is just, somebody that's going to be able to, if you're hitting 330, 340, or anything like that, just a slight drop off from that, that's a hell of a stat to have in college. And, getting on base and letting other guys drive you in.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
And something I noticed, too, was how low your strikeout totals were. I think you only had about 25 and 200 at-bats. Is that something you take pride in?
Yes, sir, for sure. Yeah, I don't like striking out. And I feel like putting it in play is better than just striking out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing that's what I was seeing. Like when I watched some of your film, just your easy level stroke, it was going out there and, having contact and making good contact, but also being able to turn on the ball when you needed to. And that's what I was, when I was watching your film on, some of the games you can catch, that people film and get the prospect names out there. So, all those services as well, being in, which select team did you play for?
So I played for the Woodlands Express.
Okay.
For Mike Molina. He was actually a coach at Wharton, and that's how I ended up over there.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, I know I have lived down in the Houston area for quite a while. I know how big the select teams are down there. It's really a vibrant scene, and it's really great. A ton of great players come out of the Houston area. So, I mean, the competition in high school and then also even in JC in Texas is pretty stacked. And, and again, that 370 just sticks out, and everybody should be excited to see that come into Baylor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. So you as a hitter, are you kind of gap to gap, contact singles guy? What do you take pride in?
I say a little bit of everything. Just depends on the day, for sure. Putting the gap, I aim for the gaps, and then up the middle, and then just for solid line drives.
And so that's one thing. I mean, the new hitting coach there, Zach Dillon, when he comes in there, I think y'all's philosophies are going to match quite a bit. I mean, after watching Zach play at Baylor and then watching his teams there with 12, it seems like, that's something that I think he's going to really enjoy working with you as well.
Yes, sir.
Just your style of hitting. What are your goals though when you come to Baylor? Or is it getting in the starting lineup immediately, hopping in there, or just there's always going to be competition anywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you're going to arrive in August as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you go through fall ball and get your position at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Just being the best team that I can and helping this team win some conference championships, get to Omaha. That's my only goal.
Okay. And then I think everybody loved that goal as well, getting back there again. That's the one thing with second base is sort of open. Trey Richardson transferred out. And then obviously third base didn't hit 370 last year.
That's open too.
Yeah, it's open as well. He graduated. So, having both of those positions open, would do, you sort of let the mess man win there, but it looks like you probably will have one of those positions, and that's got to be exciting for you to be in front of you as well.
I think the Alaskan Wi-Fi.
Sorry, it cut out a little bit.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best Wi-Fi.
It's all right. Well, Casey, thank you for joining us. We'll let you go, and then we'll continue on this little podcast for about 10 more minutes, and then and everybody can do that. But we appreciate you being our first guest. Looking forward to seeing you in Baylor gear in August, and we'll be out there at fall ball covering y'all and seeing you out there, and we'll grab you as soon as you get into Waco. We'll pull you into the studio and do a real interview with you and have a sit down and be a little more formal with it.
Sweet. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep,
well,
thanks,
thank you,
Casey.
man. Good luck
Enjoy
the rest of the
Alaska.
season. We'll see you in August.
Thank you so much. Y'all be safe.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Man, how cool is that? Being in Alaska for summer.
He's going to make a major impact, I think, in the lineup. And you put that guy in the 2-hole or lead off hitting 370. If he hits 300, that's an improvement on the offense of what it was last year, and the past 2 years. There's really not been guys that make contact like that on the team. But watching his film, he is a guy who's deliberate, takes good swings and doesn't chase bad things. That's obviously with his strikeout totals. I mean, 1 out of 8. How many times last year did we see somebody on the team strike out in the most inopportune moments?
Yeah,
I think it was the entire season.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to hear from people is I hate to strike out. I grew up kind of enjoying watching people like Ian Kinsler and Elvis Andrews just kind of fight, and Michael Young too, just fight every at bat, and they didn't strike out. And then these past couple of years, you have Joey Gallo's of the world taking over that will strike out 10 out of every 20 at bats, and it just drives me crazy. I can't watch it. And so I love when I hear guys just love and take pride in being contact hitters. That can also deliver some power.
Yeah, Gallo drives me crazy because the shift's on and he won't bunt to third base for a double.
Oh, I know.
Or just delay a swing and drive it and just dribble it over there. If once it's past the third base, they have to chase it for an extra base for him. And that always that's disappointing to watch. But again, we got Casey here who sprays it all over the field, and somebody who's going to take what the defense is giving him, use the whole field. The baseball can it's going to fall in, is usually going to fall in a larger space than a limited space. So no, I'm really, really happy to have him being one of our first guys and hearing how committed he is to Baylor now, and that Mitch has reached out to him. And it sounds like, Mitch is reaching out to these guys, and it's most of them are coming in, and most of the guys I've reached out to are coming in. I've only had like one not respond to me about not coming in, so I'm just not going to put him out there as, somebody that hadn't responded yet. But so I'm not going to mention the other guys that have, because you can deduce it really quick. And it's just it hasn't responded. And then sometimes people don't respond, and maybe they're busy and maybe they're on vacation as well. So, but no, really exciting to hear from Casey. What else? Anything else going on, Levi, with the program? I mean, obviously Zach Dillon being named, that's a great thing. Still waiting on the assistant coach, the volunteer assistant coach, and the operations guy. I still think we're probably going to see one of the names we had on the board coming in as either in operations or as the volunteer assistant. And then when the NCAA makes their new arrangement, that volunteer assistant would turn into a full-time assistant. But, getting Leverton at pitching coach is also a plus. Worked with Mitch, has a great relationship. And then, Zach Dillon, obviously a true winner. Somebody's going to help recruiting and do really well.
Yeah, we had Zach Dillon on the show the other day, and he was great. I'm really excited for him. And then what's funny is he was recruiting while he was on the phone. And so something that I found interesting that Casey was talking about, that he's known Mitch Thompson as the name his whole life, just from being in baseball circles around Texas. And so that was so awesome to hear, because, Baylor's going to be a household name around the state. These people are going to want to come play for Mitch Thompson and Zach Dillon. So that's super exciting.
Recruiting doesn't stop, can't stop, won't stop on recruiting. It never, ever stops. You're always building. And I think that's one of the things that Mitch is great at, and Zach, and you haven't met Zach. I've known Zach since he played at Baylor, and just a great, great individual. Couldn't be happier that he's coming on to the staff. The only guy I really don't know is Leverton, but I've had conversations with him. We're reaching out to, get him, obviously, try to get him or Mitch or Zach to come on the podcast as well. And come into the studio and sit down with us. And if we get Zach in there, we can relive the 2005 slide against Tulane. But, that's something that he loves Baylor, always loved Baylor, and always been there. So really great to see that come back. And I know the 12 organization is sort of grieving the loss of him. And I've had friends that work for them that are very just are so happy for him as well. But they also understand what they lost with him. So it's a great thing for him to come in.
All right.
Well, I guess that'll do it. I don't know if the Bastards of Crash Davis is going to stick or not, but, so for the podcast name or the video cast or whatever it's called at this point. But for Brian Etheridge and Levi Caraway, Sic'Em 365 Baseball Podcast signing off.